Money on my mind, gotta hustle and grind. Financial literacy always on my mind. I'm stacking knowledge, no time to waste. You gotta invest smart, gotta keep up the pace. I'm reading books, learning all the tricks, studying the market, making calculated picks.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy Reckless Raidenero. We are back at it for another special emergency episode of Future Financial Strategies. What do we have? We got a stock alert. What's a stock alert? Well, I've decided that we will have certain episodes, like if I'm going to make a play and start a dollar cost average position that's going to be a long-term holding, I will let you guys know the week of. Eventually, at a certain point, which honestly, I don't know that this will happen enough. I'm pretty vanilla about my long-term investments. They're all Bitcoin centered. So this also is going to be added to the Bitcoin centering. I've been doing my deep dives on a couple of things, following a couple of things. And I decided I'm going to pull the trigger now that I figured out how to pull the trigger. And the reason I'm doing this episode is because it took me a minute to figure it out. So I'm assuming that a bunch of other people are going to be taking a minute to figure it out as well. So before we get into it, let's go ahead and make sure we've hit that like button. For those of you who've been here more than 2 times, make sure to tap that subscribe, turn the bell notification down below to all on. I do not flood your feed. I actually get complaints that I'm not here enough for you guys, which is a good problem to have. I'd rather you guys be missing me than sick of seeing me. So we're working on it. We add stuff as needed, but as it sits right now, you hear from me about 3 days a week, except for the beginning of the month. You will hear from me every day for the first week of every month, the first full week. And then that bag fortification Friday, you'll hear from me twice, which is kind of cool. I might actually move that to a Saturday since people are tapping in every day. And, you know, that would give you an additional day. You'd get 6 days. So we might actually start spacing one of our shows out. But I digress. Lastly, if you guys have been getting value from these, understand this one, especially like the alerts, are going to be value packed. This is just based around me breaking down something that should be of value, that I found a value. I put in the legwork on it, and I'm just going to bring you back what I found. So let's, without further ado, jump into it. What are we talking about? We are talking about the 21. What is it? Good God. See, this is the reason I do live takes, because sometimes you guys get to hear me mess up. 21 Capital. We're talking about the 21 Capital SPAK. First and foremost, I'm going to bring to the stage a screen and go over this. For those of you who are not watching, I'm going to break down what a SPAK is. A SPAK stands for a special purpose acquisition company, also known as a blank check company. It's a publicly listed company that's created with the sole purpose of acquiring privately held companies. Think of it as a shell company that goes public, raises capital, and then uses that money to buy another company. Think Berkshire Hathaway. Pretty much, that's what they do. They go buy private companies. So that's going to be my basis of comparison. And so here's a detailed breakdown of what a SPAK is. SPAKs, oh, I forgot to put my banner up. I made banners for this. Boom. What is a SPAK? I want to make sure you guys know what section we're in. Purpose. SPAKs are formed to find and acquire private companies, typically through a merger transaction. What are their structures? They are shell companies, meaning they have no business operations or assets of their own other than the initial investment and cash raised from the IPO. What is the process? A SPAK goes through an initial public offering, an IPO. The money raised from the IPO is held in a trust escrow account until the SPAK finds a target company to acquire. Alternative to IPOs. A SPAK offers a way for private companies to become public without going through a traditional IPO process. An example being, a SPAC could be formed by a group of investors, go public, raise capital, and then find a private biotech company to merge with, making the biotech company public. Sideways way of going public. So we've got that. Now, the next thing we're gonna pull to the screen here, and I'll have this up while I go through the value prop, is how do you get involved in this? Because 21 Capital's ticker symbol is going to be XXI. So I spent all week, because everybody was talking about it, I'm like, where is this stock? Because I want to look at it. I want to get some eyes on it. It's not XXI yet. The publicly traded company that's going to be converting to XXI is Cantor Equity Partners Incorporated, which is currently trading at $31.50 at the time of this recording. This is interesting because you can actually buy pre the transition, and your shares of this stock, Cantor Equity Partners, CEP, will just convert over. So you can actually get in on this deal now, and their price has spiked. The 52-week low was $10. It is currently trading at $31.50. So there's already been a massive upswing. Let's get into the details of this merger. First and foremost, we're going to talk about the value proposition. Why is Reckless Raid and Arrow interested in this? Well, basically, they are doing the exact same play that MicroStrategy is doing, with some caveats, which we'll get into as we're breaking this down. So what is the value proposition of this? A, it's a Bitcoin company. That's for me, right? Second, the merger between Cantor Equity Partners and 21 Capital creates a new public company, 21, which will be one of the largest holders of Bitcoin among publicly traded companies, launching with over 42,000 Bitcoin. 21 is designed as a pure play Bitcoin company, offering investors direct exposure to Bitcoin via a public stock, with an added potential for growth through Bitcoin native financial products and services. This is one of the pivotal things where they will be ahead of MicroStrategy. Strategy only buys Bitcoin right now. Their core business doesn't make that much money. It's not profitable. It's not. 21 Capital is going in with the intent they're already going to be rolling out Bitcoin services. They're going to have a means of making money, as well as all the tools MicroStrategy has, so they can buy Bitcoin themselves. They can make money to buy Bitcoin. They're also going to use all the tools that Strategy uses to buy Bitcoin. The company's performance will be measured on two unique metrics: Bitcoin per share, how much Bitcoin backs each share, which is something that people need to start researching. It's important when you're dealing with Bitcoin companies. It's the reason that I've condensed down to really focusing on Bitcoin companies specifically, because you want companies that are maximizing and increasing your Bitcoin per share amount. Secondly, they will be judged on Bitcoin return rate, the rate at which Bitcoin per share grows over time, reflecting the performance in terms of Bitcoin accumulation rather than flat fiat profits. They are also backed by major players. Tether's involved with this, SoftBank and Bitfinex, and led by Jack Mallers, who is a prominent fixture and Bitcoin advocate. He's well known in the Bitcoin space. These are big deals. This is huge. He's also the founder of Strike. The company aims to be the leading institutional vehicle for Bitcoin exposure and innovation. They are making a play at MicroStrategy. Do I think that they're going to get as many Bitcoin accumulated as MicroStrategy? Likely not. That's a tall order. Do I think they're going to have the potential to be a major player? Absolutely. Which is why we are going to be moving to the next thing, which is profit potential. Let's talk about it. Profit potentials. This is pretty straightforward. Direct Bitcoin exposure. Shareholders benefit from Bitcoin price appreciation as the company's main asset is its Bitcoin treasury. Growth next. So next they have growth in Bitcoin per share. Through capital raises and strategic management, the company seeks to increase Bitcoin per share, potentially outpacing Bitcoin's own price performance if it can acquire more BTC per share over time. Think MicroStrategy. What you're doing is you're adding leverage on Bitcoin with a publicly traded company, which also means that there is hopefully going to be the surrounding suite of abilities to monetize on that leverage and get some cash flow off of this as well, just like what MicroStrategy has. Development of Bitcoin native financial products. This is a big one. This diverges from what MicroStrategy is currently doing. Future profit potential may come from lending, capital markets, and other products built on Bitcoin, offering new revenue streams beyond simple BTC holdings. Future proofing. Now, last but not least, this is listed, and I don't have to say it, but since it's listed, I'm like, we're going to go straight through. And I'm going to list all of the things that AI brought back to me. I don't like it, and I'm gonna go ahead and preface this one. I don't like this one. Meme stock momentum. Early trading has shown meme stock like surges, which could offer speculative trading opportunities, though this also increases volatility. Now, I don't like it, but I do like it. I don't like it because I do not believe 21 is going to be a meme stock. Right now, people are trading the S&P like a meme stock. If the word tariff comes out in the news, they're dumping the S&P, they're dumping Bitcoin, they're dumping gold. Like, people are just very emotional and very not. A lot of people just shouldn't even be in these markets, to be honest. And I hate to say that, but like, a lot of people come here trying to get rich next Tuesday in all markets, it seems, because like now they're doing it in traditional finance. Traditional finance used to be boring. It used to be not interesting to me, and I used to just be in crypto, and like that was it. Now, the traditional stock markets, you guys have turned everything into degenerate gambling. And you're just gonna figure out a way to accelerate getting poor. It's crazy. But the thing that I do like is the increase in volatility, because I believe that this will end up with high yield dividend offerings, which is another one of my core spaces that I am in. And, that's going to be one of the core spaces that I'm in for the foreseeable future, at least until I get rich. So then we'll talk about diversification and protecting wealth and all that stuff, because I'll have some, but I'm going to get some wealth first. And like, that's one of the means that seems to be the most efficient for me. It falls into my skill set, which is capital allocation. And yeah, like that's kind of where we're looking at with that. But that increased volatility, if we get a high yield covered call option strategy on this holding, then again, just like what we have with Misty, we'll be able to generate some income every month, income that we can then use to buy the stock. And pay down debt amongst other things. But like the debt, we are attacking that. That's going to be, I got an interesting play for that. And we're going to be shifting into it. It will have started this week. So moving on to the next thing that needs to be overstood, if you would, the factors that will move the stock. I see this so many times. People are always like, well, I don't understand why it's going up. Why is the stock going up? Why is the stock going down? Why are we not getting the dividend that we got last month, this month off Misty, when the markets crashed and everything got hit, and covered call option strategies are based on upward volatility? I don't understand why. Okay, so I'm going to make this super simple for you. We have a whole section for this. I hope you guys have stuck around this long. Factors that will move the stock. Factors that will move 21 Capital. This is what will make the stock go up or down, people. Bitcoin price movement. As the core asset is Bitcoin, the stock will be highly sensitive to Bitcoin's price volatility. Now, another thing to keep in mind, especially if we're getting the same performance that we're getting out of MicroStrategy, which is like a 1.5, 2x, 3x, 4x, whatever Bitcoin does because of the way that they're acquiring Bitcoin. That means that if the Bitcoin goes up, then MicroStrategy goes up 1, 1.5, 2x what Bitcoin does. Now, when Bitcoin goes down, MicroStrategy goes down 1.5, 2x what Bitcoin does. Something to think about. Execution of Bitcoin accumulation strategy also affects the price. Success in increasing Bitcoin price per share and Bitcoin rate of return will be closely watched by investors and could drive stock price. Now, that's something that those of us over here in the Wolf Pack, I would take note of that. Bitcoin per share and Bitcoin rate of return. Those are two metrics that we need to be looking at if you're involved in any publicly traded company that is claiming to be a Bitcoin play. You need to know what the Bitcoin per share is, if it's increasing, what the Bitcoin rate of return is, and if it's increasing, because if it's not, that might not be the play that you want to be in. Just throwing that out there. We need to start going by our metrics. The market is changing. I do not use the S&P 500 as a metric for success. I reference everything against my rate of return on Bitcoin, which is basically 30% a year if you average it out. So you got to change with the times. You got to take the upgrade, or you're going to be forced to take the upgrade later. So, I mean, realistically at this point, the way that I'm looking at it is you have two choices. You can take the orange pill and understand and accept Bitcoin and the new reality that we live in, or you can wait until you're forced to, because at a certain point, you're coming into this market no matter what. Just throwing that out there. Market appetite for crypto exposed public equities. Investor sentiment towards crypto and Bitcoin related stocks will impact demand and valuation. One of the benefits that 21 Capital will have is they're doing the MicroStrategy play. So they're going to have those bonds. Those bonds are going like hotcakes. So now they'll have two bond offerings. So now you'll be able to diversify. You got to think, hedge funds, a lot of people are up in arms like there can't be two. There actually should be multiple because, and here's the reason. Hedge funds want diversification. Even if it's isolated around an asset, they don't want to just go, hey, all of our boats are tied to MicroStrategy. What if Michael Saylor loses his mind? He's older. I'm not saying he's crazy, but like sometimes he says stuff that I think is kind of crazy. What if he loses his mind? And that's the only place that you can get those Bitcoin bonds. They want diversification. So 21 Capital will have a shoe in. They're going to be the new guy on the block. They're probably going to offer some very favorable terms on those bonds to entice people to start using those bonds, and those bonds will be scooped up for diversification purposes. There's room for both. It's not one or the other. MicroStrategy is going to have plenty of money. They have plenty of tools. They're constantly expanding their tools for bringing in capital to acquire more Bitcoin. They're going to be all right. 21 Capital can come get some of that money too. Development and adoption of Bitcoin native financial products. Progress in launching new products and services could provide upside beyond Bitcoin price tracking. They are going to expand the space. They're bringing Bitcoin, Crypto Street to Main Street. They're bringing it to your grandparents. They're bringing it to the boomers. They're going to make it accessible for them. Do I care? Personally, no. But like, if they bring in the ability for us to have leveraging of our Bitcoin back, yes, interested. I think that's great personally. I like it, especially if they're gonna have it like what it was, where you're getting preferential rates because Bitcoin is Bitcoin. Like, I don't want Bitcoin should have preferential rates. Like when back in the day when we had Nexo and Celsius and Voyager and all the other places where you could leverage some Bitcoin and borrow against it, We were at 0% on some of those. Yeah. So, like preferential, real low. I'm talking like, I'd be acceptable with like, 2-3% below market. Bitcoin's going up faster than your house. Definitely not looking to pay 5-7 what market is. Like, I think that product would not necessarily fare as well. It's not going to be enticing to those of us who are in crypto. We can just sit and wait. But the ability to do more stuff with your Bitcoin, the ability to cash out without losing your physical asset, that could be big. There's a market for it. I want to use it. Just shout out 21 Capital. Backing and involvement of major investors. Continued support from Tether, SoftBank, and Bitfinex adds credibility and capital, but any changes could affect confidence. So people are going to be watching that. They're going to be looking for the Tether support, which has all the money in the world right now. Like, they first mover advantage, let me tell you, they're strong. SoftBank, huge. And Bitfinex, one of the I'm not gonna say best, I don't use them, but one of the OGs in the space. Like, they've been around for a long time. Like, it's a good exchange, it's a credible exchange. They've got a lot of backing. In order to compete with MicroStrategy at this point, you're gonna have to form up like the Avengers or Voltron. For those of you who came up in about the same age as me, you geriatric millennials out there, you'll get that reference. They're forming up like Voltron. Because MicroStrategy in this space is the 800-pound gorilla. They are the incumbent. Incumbents should be challenged. That's what stems innovation. What is kind of interesting is they're going towards what MicroStrategy said that they were doing before them. That's going to be interesting. Competition's always good. We got to have options. Regulatory and macro environment. Changes in crypto regulation or broader market conditions could influence both Bitcoin and the stock 100%. But right now, in the next 4 years, we are in a beautiful regulatory environment for Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. So there's a lot of really interesting things that are going on. And there's one last thing that I want to talk about, but I got to ask AI first. All right. So the other thing and the reason I kept this up here for so long is because, okay. Okay. So one of the things that was brought to my attention is the price premium. And I looked at this and like I saw another video of somebody who was doing a similar breakdown. And what they did was they kind of made it sound like, oh, because most SPACs have a launch price of $10 and we're 3x $10 is $31. And they kind of presented it in a way like, oh, well, this is overpriced, as though when it converts, it's going to like you're paying too much. Now, that is a possibility, and I'm going to go into what exactly I have done and started doing, because by the time this video airs, I will have already started buying. Full disclosure, like this ain't financial advice. I am going to buy before the conversion because I do not believe that there's going to be a tanking because other people are buying it right now, which is why the price has gone up, because it was previously sitting at $10. Now, me showing up late to the game, fair enough. I'm going to have had a purchase, which will have gone through on Monday as soon as market opens on Monday, of 10 shares of CEP. And I'm going to sit and wait and watch it. And then next week, probably on Monday, I will buy another 10 shares. Every time that I go in to buy Misty, I will be buying 10 shares of CEP on the opposite side of that and adding it to my Bitcoin standard coffers, which will sit it right next to MicroStrategy. The thing that I want to talk to about the 3X is most publicly traded companies have a price premium of 15X. It's like 15 to 25X is the normal. MicroStrategy right now is trading at 1.8X. Hold on, what did it say? MicroStrategy right now has a price premium of 1.6 and 1.8, the net asset value of its Bitcoin treasury, which is basically the company. So it's trading at a premium to buy MicroStrategy. Like you're buying 1.6 at 1.8x every MicroStrategy share. Currently pre-conversion, this is 3x, but the issue is these companies aren't valued appropriately yet. So you're not getting 15x on a MicroStrategy, but it should be trending that way. Like once the market understands, once Wall Street understands how to value these products, because these products are not valued traditionally like your average Joe stock. I make a doodad, you buy the doodad, here it is. Company is. So they're getting a premium on something, but like if you price MicroStrategy and Bitcoin, it's one of the few companies in the stock market that's actually going up in value in terms of Bitcoin. Most companies aren't. Most companies are going down in value, which is counterintuitive, and it's kind of messes with your brain when you start actually understanding the value system that we use. Most things in existence right now are going down in value against Bitcoin, even though they are showing and look as though, well, they're going up in value in dollars because dollars are going down in value against Bitcoin. And once you kind of grasp that understanding, you start looking at stuff totally different. It makes the stuff that you want to invest in totally different. Nvidia is doing awesome. It's going down in value against Bitcoin. I mean, it's going down like right now. It's in a turbulent time because it's in the crossfires of the whole tariff discussion. But as much as it was going up in dollars, it was going down in value against Bitcoin. So that's something to think about. And, you know, our premiums, I think once Wall Street catches on to that, their value set and the multiples that we'll be paying to see these things come into life and into fruition are going to change as well. And so that's kind of my breakdown. I'm going to be buying 10 shares a week, watching the price. Now, if the price drops among whenever the conversion happens, because I have no idea when the conversion's actually happening. It seems like everybody's jumping in on the early bird special here. Because I mean, I'm referencing this play and it's highly speculative, but it's a Bitcoin play. So like I'm willing to sit on these shares and see what they're capable of doing. Like I'm planning on being in these shares for a few years. I'm planning on buying 10 shares a week until I run out of dry powder to buy Misty. But I'm just taking a little bit of the money that I'm putting in and converting over to pay off debt to putting this position into my long-term holding portfolio. And then as they release those income products, I will probably be dabbling and adding positions of that as well, because that diversifies my Bitcoin holdings that are in my traditional finance portfolio that are going to allow me to buy more Bitcoin. I'm excited about it. So that's what we're looking at. That's what we're looking at doing. We've already started. So like by the time this video comes in again, I'll have 10 shares. So the next portfolio update at the beginning of the month for May, there's going to be 10 shares at least of CEP in there. Oh yeah. Yeah. I say at least it's just going to be 10 shares. I didn't even look at how late we are in the month. Like it's about to be May. So yeah, I'll have that 10 shares and we'll talk about it again. And yeah, we're going to keep it moving. We're always looking for stuff, but like when I do something, I want you guys to know about it. So I'm shifting my video schedule around for future financial strategies. So that way we can get this stock alert. So that way you guys can be in the loop, understand what's going on, and, you know, hopefully do your own research and see if it has a fit in your portfolio. That, like I said, and I'm in closing, I'm just going to make this very simple. It's not an either or, it's an and. Competition spurs innovation. There doesn't just have to be one company that holds Bitcoin. There shouldn't be one person that holds Bitcoin. Like hopefully you have Bitcoin as well. There's room for other people to eat. And like, yeah, they got to compete there, but that should make them better. So I'm excited about it. That's what we got for today's episode. Thank you for tapping in. Make sure that you hit that like button. This is your secondary reminder in case you guys made it this far in the video. Hit the thumbs up, hit the like. Do that for the algorithm because people need to know about this. We're not trying to get rich by ourselves over here. Also, for those of you who been over here to the channel more than 2 times, I welcome you to the Wolf Pack. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification down below, turn all notifications on, and be tapped in. Let's go. I can't wait to hear from you guys down in the comments. But before you hit that comment, share the video. Then let me know what you guys think about 21 Capital. You in, you out? Let's talk about it. Till next week, people, it's your boy Reckless Ray Dinero, and I'm out. Peace.
Money on my mind, yeah. Focus, got no time for games, nah. I don't play, man, I'm all about that financial literacy. Investing in my future, building generational wealth. Dollar bills, they be calling my name, but I ain't chasing fame, I'm chasing change. Learn the game, now I'm playing it smart. Putting my money to work, it's an art. I'm stacking paper, building my own empire. No more living check to check, I'm getting higher. Investing in stocks, real estate, and more. Gotta secure the bag, that's what I came for.